feeding corruption in other countries.
I call Mark Mitchell.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr Speaker. Firstly, I'd just like to acknowledge our secondary schools, colleges that competed in Stage Challenge, and in particular Orewa College, who won their open division. I'd also like to just mention the RSAs in Warkworth, Wellsford and Kerikeri, in particular the President of Kerikeri, Frank Lewis, and the President of Wellsford, Terry Blackmore. Thank you for hosting the Defence White Paper meetings that we held there over the last couple of weeks. Talking about the Defence White Paper meetings, we have to note that Major Ron Mark appears to be on manoeuvres this week. He appears to be on manoeuvres, Mr Speaker. So let's talk about that. I might have to use some military terms, Mr Speaker, but please bear with me. What did he use? He used the blitzkrieg. Major Mark used the blitzkrieg. This is an attack that uses concentrated force and rapid speed to break through enemy lines. But the Deputy Leader was quick to react. She had her Colonel, she had Colonel Dennis O'Rourke and Colonel Richard Prosser, and she mobilised them. She mobilised them into a blockade. A blockade is an attempt to cut off food supplies and war material. But we're dealing with an experienced veteran here who moved quickly, very quickly, into a deception. He moved into a deception. A deception is a strategy that seeks to deceive, trick or fool the enemy and create a false perception in a way that can be leveraged for a military advantage. He then quickly moved into a feint. Mr Peters would know about this, a feint. To draw attention to another point of the battle where little or nothing is going on. And then it didn't end there, straight into a flanking manoeuvre. A flanking manoeuvre involves attacking the opponent from the side or the rear.
Watch your back.
But Dennis and Richard were ready for this. They responded quickly. They responded with a human wave attack. A human wave attack is an unprotected frontal attack. And then quickly into an indirect approach. The indirect approach, that's a dislocation, or dislocation is the aim of the strategy. Direct attacks almost never work. One must upset the enemy's equilibrium. But Mr Ron Mark, he's sensible. He knew that he was going to call on other fine examples of strategy in terms of a change of leadership. So he decided to call on the Labor Party's divide and conquer. The divide and conquer to induce rival states to engage in a protracted war of attrition against each other. But he realised that things weren't going his way. He realised that it was not this time. It wasn't going to work this time. But let's give him credit. He tried one more manoeuvre. He tried one more. It was the turning manoeuvre. The turning manoeuvre. An attack that penetrates the enemy's flank, then curls into its rear to cut it off from home. He used the turning manoeuvre, but unfortunately it all came to an end. The big guns arrived. The 50 cal arrived, locked and loaded, ready to go. The Right Honourable Winston Peters. What did he use? Can anyone guess? He used shock and awe. Shock and awe. He rolled out the shock and awe. That's right. That's an attack that penetrates. Oh, no, sorry, I've already covered that one. The shock and awe. I've got to get this right. It is a military doctrine using overwhelming power to try and achieve rapid dominance. That, Mr Speaker, is what we saw unfold today. Thank you very much, Mr Speaker.
Right on.